have a fun book to share with you today, and this is actually a nonfiction book, and it's called Stars and Constellations. And I want to share that with you because if you like being outside in the summertime after the sun has gone down, there are a lot of cool things you can see up in the nighttime sky. So I want you to be aware of what the stars are and maybe even some constellations that you can look for. So this book is called Stars and Constellations, and it's written by Elizabeth Bennet. Stars and Constellations. And because it's nonfiction, there's our table of contents. Chapter 1, What is a Star? Page 4. Chapter 2, Constellations, starting on page 8. And Chapter 3, Famous Stars, on page 12. And then there is a glossary and some questions back on page 16. Chapter 1, What is a Star? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. This book will tell you all about stars. Stars may look tiny, but that is just because they are very far away. And a fast fact, there are at least as many stars in the universe as there are grains of sand on Earth. So think of all the sand that's in the world. That's how many stars are out there. Which star is closest to the Earth? Do you know the answer on that one? The sun. Other stars are a lot like the sun. They are humongous balls of hot, glowing gases. And a fast fact, the sun looks bigger than other stars because it is much closer to the Earth. So the sun is not the biggest star, but it looks the biggest to us because it's the closest to us. But there are some further out there that are a lot bigger than that. It is hard to see stars in a city. City lights make the sky too bright. But if you are in the country, you can see lots and lots of stars. And we're lucky because most of us live at least close to the country. City people don't see much of the stars because the city's too bright at night, but we are lucky to see things like that. Chapter 2, this is my favorite, Constellations. People have always looked at the stars. Long ago, they imagined lines drawn from star to star. The lines made pictures called constellations. What do you see here? So these are actual stars up in the sky, and people would use their imagination and they would draw lines in between the stars. And then they would call that a picture or a constellation. Long ago, people saw a powerful bear. At night, they gazed up at the sky and told exciting stories about the bear. And this is the Great Bear constellation. The first constellations were named more than 2,000 years ago. And when you watch your Mystery Science video about who named the constellations, you're going to learn a little bit more about the big bear. Sometimes people saw heroes in the sky. Take a look at this picture. What do you see? The shape of a constellation never changes. So those stars always stay in the same place in the sky. This is one of my favorite ones to find in the wintertime because his belt is very easy to see. This is Orion, the hunter. There's his belt. There's his shield. He's holding a club. These are his legs and his feet and his arm. Long ago, people saw a brave man. They named him Orion. They told stories about him. In the stories, Orion was a great hunter. And a fast fact, Orion is famous for his bright belt of 3 stars. Now, that one's a winter constellation, so we might not be able to see that one outside again until winter comes back. Famous stars. Stars may look the same at first, but they are each a little different. Stars can be big or small. They can be red, yellow, white, or blue. Blue stars are the hottest, and red stars are the coolest. So this one looks like a blue star, so that would be a very hot star. A red star is a cool star. The star named Sirius stands out in a crowd. Why? It is very, very bright. It forms the chest of a constellation called the Great Dog. So there's the Cirrus star, and it forms his chest. And then there's the rest of his body here that's formed by the stars. These 7 stars are special too. They form the shape of a huge soup ladle called the Big Dipper. So this constellation we can see all the time out there. It is easiest to see the Big Dipper in the middle of the summer. So that time is coming up on that one. Wow, there are so many pictures in the starry night sky. Turn on your imagination. What do you see here? And it says the fast fact, we are learning new things about stars every day. So you could use your own imagination to draw lines between some of those stars and make your own picture. And then finally in the back, if you noticed on a couple of those pages, like here, the word Orion was written in very dark black letters. That's because back here it tells us Orion, a group of stars in the northern sky that looks like a hunter. Humongous, there was that word humongous, means very, very large. So between Mystery Science and myself sharing a few books, we are going to learn a little bit more about the constellations. And then hopefully during the summertime, you will be able to go outside and find some of those or even make up your own constellations. So have fun stargazing if you get the chance.